Today, we're going to talk about an incident that has almost become American, the latest mass shooting to affect our society. And we're also going to delve into the completely newly drawn Pennsylvania congressional maps, what this means across both aisles. All that and more, right here on the T. Grab a cup and let's spill the tea. Your unabridged connection to mainstream news here on WHIP Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station. Hey everyone, it is Jon Dowding. I hope you guys are enjoying this absolutely beautiful weather. I know it's global warming and that's a bad thing, but it is 70 degrees out right now in Philadelphia. I am in shorts and I am thriving right now. I'm gonna just jump into this right now and get started because there's been a lot of news and a lot of discussion that has developed after the latest mass shooting in Florida. This latest mass shooting happened at Florida's Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, and it took the lives of 17 students and faculty members at the school. Now, this mass shooting was carried out by a former student of the high school who is no longer enrolled and who was living with a family of his friend after his foster mother died. And it is reported he had over 10 weapons. But honestly, the news that for me is coming out of it and the significance of this is the students and what the students are doing. So keep in mind, these are high school students. These are 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who had to witness their friends being massacred in front of them. They are grieving. And they are asking the typical questions. What happened? How did this happen? How can we prevent this? All of those things. I feel like these students are focusing in a lot on the how can we stop this. So a lot of these students are becoming the newest identity group to shape the gun violence conversation. A lot of these students, what they're doing is they are taking to public media. They are writing op-eds. They're participating in protests, speaking at rallies, and reaching out to their lawmakers. And in response to what may have been, as the Washington Post put it, one of the most traumatic incidents of their life. At the foundation of all of this is the idea that identity politics, as again reported by the Washington Post, is the understanding that policies affect different people differently. And students are sharing how gun laws affect them. But will those who make decisions about gun laws, voters, lawmakers, and donors, lend these young people their ear long enough to create significant policy change? My personal opinion with this, I think that they are taking the right stance. I think they're doing the right thing coming out of this. They are strong individuals. I personally don't know how I would react after somebody came into my high school and killed people in this community. But these kids are making use of the spotlight put on them. And they are saying it's ridiculous that we have to fight for our lives by going to school. And they are standing up to this. I personally, again, believe that this issue has gone on long enough. I completely understand the usually conservative viewpoint defending the constitutional right to gun ownership. I completely agree with that. I should have a right to get a firearm if I want one. But I don't think I need an AR-15 rifle. I don't need a massive automatic rifle. I do not need that. Let me put it this way. I have a freedom of speech, but I cannot walk into a movie theater and scream fire without facing consequences. How is this not the same for gun rights? There should be limitations on everything. And I think this is what a lot of people are trying to get at. I feel that they are doing this at a unique time, especially going into the midterm election cycle. And I feel that they are doing a great job by bringing national attention on this. And these students are also organizing nationwide protests. They are organizing a protest in DC, I believe on March 24th, I believe is the date. In March, don't quote me on the 24th, but in March. I want to also discuss a recent ABC Washington Post poll about mass shootings and mental health screening, all that kind of stuff. So this recent poll is saying a majority of Americans say neither President Trump nor Congress are doing enough to try to prevent mass shootings after the latest school shooting in Parkland, Florida. And this is, again, according to this Washington Post ABC News poll. 58% of those surveyed believe that stricter gun laws could have prevented the Valentine's Day massacre that took the 17 lives at this high school. And 77% of people are believing that better mental health monitoring could have prevented the shooting. Now, I feel that we shouldn't make this a mental health issue because it's not a mental health issue. The issue going on right now is it's too easy for people to get weapons. It is too easy for unstable people to get guns. And that's where it really comes down to. You know, we can't flip this on people who have mental health issues because they are not the issue. The system and the policies that allow for people who are troubled, who should not have a gun, to get a gun. And that's what it comes down to. And again, my opinion, students are doing a great job. They're staying strong, honestly stronger than a lot of us would be after something like this. And they are really trying to make it a better place. They're really trying to make the states a better place and implement change that has for so long been needed. Hats off to those kids. Keep doing what you're doing. Now, we're also going to flip a little bit closer to home right now and talk about the new Pennsylvania congressional map. So the Pennsylvania Supreme Court released a new congressional district lines Monday, and this is replacing the old Republican drawn maps in time for the state's May primary. House Republican and Democratic operatives said Monday afternoon they're still analyzing the partisan makeup of these new districts. But in a swing state where Republicans hold 13 House seats to the Democrats' 5, the balance appears all but certain to tip in Democrats' favor. The biggest changes come in the Philadelphia suburbs, where 3 Republican-held seats, held by Representative Ryan Costello, Brian Fitzpatrick, and the retiring Pat Meehan, were already huge Democratic targets. Republicans in the Pennsylvania legislature have said they intend to challenge the new maps in federal court, and the Supreme Court previously refused to hear a challenge to the state high court's ruling that the previous maps were gerrymandered in a way that violated the Pennsylvania Constitution. Gerrymandering occurs regardless of whoever is in charge, whatever party is in charge. So we cannot fully blame this on the Republicans. At the same time, Republicans are getting put in line because take a look at the old 7th District of Pennsylvania. That thing looked like a 5-year-old drew it. I kid you not. It was the weirdest shape. It made no sense, and it was completely blatantly obvious that it was gerrymandered. For those of you who do not know, gerrymandering, in layman's terms really, is when people in power are drawing congressional voting districts, and they draw them based on party lines rather than population lines. So they may split up a huge area of Democrats into multiple different districts, while they may circle one Republican district and say that's 1 compared to 3. So Democrats get more control. And again, it's the completely opposite way too. Republicans could break up a hugely Republican area or a small Republican area into 3 different districts and leave a humongous Democratic district as 1. Again, varies a lot. Now, I think that this map is definitely going to be challenged because there's been talks that the state Supreme Court doesn't have the legal jurisdiction to draw and implement congressional district mapping. We'll have to see what happens in the future about that, but again, it's a step in the positive direction, especially like the article said, primaries are a couple months away, and after that, midterms. So definitely this will be a huge impact, and it's going to make a huge difference in the coming months. What's also going to make a huge impact is this weather, because I am going to go bask and enjoy in it a little bit. Thank you guys for listening to The Tea. As always, you're listening to WHIP Radio, Philly's #1 college radio station. Thanks for taking the time to enjoy some of the tea. I'm Jon Dowding. I'll see you guys next week.